Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time you happen to be tuning into. It's Naturally Not. I hope you're doing well today because we're going to make a real satisfying meal that I haven't made for a long time, and that is baked chicken and rice. If you're a Gen Xer, you probably know this dish from your mom or your grandmother, but even if you're a millennial or even a baby boomer, you probably remember a grandma or a mother making this. It was hugely popular in the 70s, but I think it was also popular in the 60s as well, because it's a bake it and forget it kind of meal that makes your house smell good, no matter what time of year you make it. Today's kind of a coolish day. It's not hot outside by any means, so I got all the windows open, so I don't mind turning on the stove for a little while, especially not when the payoff is that it smells really good. In the 70s and 80s, I think, and even the 90s, depending on what part of the country you grew up in, it might even be right now, this dish was generally made with like a packet of something like Lipton's onion soup mix, or it was made with a lot of cream of whatever soups, cream of mushroom, cream of cream, whatever. And while those are convenient, they're not free, and they're not great for you, right? They're really high in sodium. So this dish has a riff on the taste with that, but it doesn't have to have the super high sodium packs of Lipton onion soup mix in it, or the cans of the cream of whatever in it, right? In fact, it requires a few ingredients. The main ones are plain old white rice, cheapest at the grocery store, right? Not minute rice. You don't want to make it with something like that. That's processed anyway, super processed. And a bunch of chicken pieces. I think in the 70s and 80s when my mom would make it, she would make it with chicken breasts, and then chicken breasts took off in popularity and got really expensive. And now it seems like the most popular chicken is chicken thighs, which are still fairly cheap, but they're going up in price. But the most unpopular chicken on the chicken playground has always been chicken legs, chicken drumsticks. And I don't know why, because they taste just as good as thighs. And I don't know, they're just unpopular, and they're always dirt cheap at the grocery store. So that's what we're making today with this dish. We're not going to use chicken breasts. What I did is, and I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chicken breasts. And my recipe calls for 5 chicken thighs, but I'm not going to use chicken thighs. Hello, doggy. Again, I'm going to use chicken legs. And they're not boneless, but bone-in. Obviously, chicken legs are. And all I did was I pulled, and they're easy to pull off with a paper towel. I pulled off the chicken wing, just peel it off, and then literally pull it down to the knuckle end of the leg. Put a paper towel in your hands, and it pops right off. In fact, what I do, here's a tip for you, is when you get done doing that, and then the plastic that it came in, put it in its own separate bag and take it outside to your trash, because this stinks up your main trash can immediately within a day if you don't do that. And otherwise, you don't have to take your garbage out so often. So anyway, it's supposed to be 5 bone-in chicken thighs, but I've got, like I said, 8. And you're going to need a 9x13 pan, some onions, some butter, some seasoning, and rice, and water, and chicken bouillon, and that is all you're going to need. In fact, to get started, I'm going to go ahead and pull out a 9 by... Ooh, does this smell good? A 9 by, 9x13 glass Pyrex pan. In there I have 3 tablespoons of butter, or you could use 3 tablespoons of olive oil if you don't like to use dairy. And I got a chopped up onion and 3 cloves of minced garlic, and I threw that in the oven for 15 minutes so it could pre-saute. And pre-saute in a preheated 350 oven, it did. So that saves you time and a pan, right? This comes together so fast, right? Then we're going to make our spice blend, which is this right here. So we got 1 teaspoon paprika, 1 teaspoon dried thyme, half a teaspoon garlic powder, half a teaspoon onion powder, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, and the same of black pepper. Okay, this is going to be our rub. So we're substituting from the old 1960s, 70s recipe those packets and cans for this, which is way fresher and yummier anyway. Here's our onions and garlic, and you see it with your own eyes. It's fresh. already the house smells incredible. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give these a mixy mix so they're evenly mixed with a little whisk. And then I'm going to just coat these chicken legs and put them in the pan. Then we're going to add some hot water to start it out quick and fast, and some hot instant chicken bouillon, although you can use the kind that comes in a can or in a one of those little milk cartony things. I don't really like those because I think you pay more for them, and sometimes better than bouillon, if it really matters, the taste is going to be really good, will work, or even generic instant will work. Yeah, I'm telling you, why spend the extra money if you don't have to? This whole dish, I got this chicken for like next to nothing, maybe $3. Seriously. Onion I already had left over and was frozen in the refrigerator. This is super cheap. All this comes together. I'll bet this whole meal comes together under $6. Not bad considering this is going to be about 6 servings, right? So anyway, there's our seasoning. I'm going to use my fingers to break up the little pockets of onion powder. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rub the chicken with this good stuff, and just go ahead and put it in the pan. Okay? Ooh, it's going to be good. I cannot wait till this comes together. And of course, so I don't have to edit, or ask Daniel to edit, I'm going to use the thumbnail, right? The thumbnail will be my finished product of this bad boy, which only cooks about an hour. So you're free to do whatever you want to do. You could have this ready for the oven. Call ahead to your spouse, your significant other, say, preheat the oven for me. Throw the, go when it comes to temp, throw this sucker in with the onions and garlic. Then do the meat when you get home. Put it in the oven with tin foil. Take a shower. We'll do a load of laundry, and dinner is done. I mean, how nice is that? It'll make you feel like you went out, only you didn't. Because who goes out and gets enough for several servings or several meals for under $6? Certainly not nowadays. If you're wondering why I took this chicken skin off, it's because, and this is just barely going to do it here, that's because it doesn't really add much to this type of dish. We don't want it to be too greasy, and dark meat is a lot greasier than light. Oh, there's the girls. Might have to do be quiet here in a second. Wouldn't be a video without the girls being naughty. Ooh, I had just enough, which is good because this seasoning mix is generally for 5, but I wasn't too liberal with my seasoning on that, and it's just enough. Okay? Now, you only need tap hot water for the rest of this. Let me go scold the girls. Hey, get down. No more of that. No more of that. Okay. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and add the rice, the hot water, and the bouillon. Okay? So let's go ahead and add our, just double check in here. Yes, 1.5 cups of plain rice. Okay? This is a no-namer. So this was, this was really cheap. From a discount grocery store. No-namer. We're going to add 1.5 cups. Here we go. And we're just going to go ahead and just put it around like this. If you can't see what I'll do, I'll just hold it up for you in a minute. I'm just really no particular order here. I'm just putting it around the chicken. There's no sense in putting it over. And then we're going to add our liquids. This pan is going to be a little bit hot, but I'll show you that. Yeah, it's a little bit hot. I don't know how well you can see, but I just went ahead and added that rice. Now we're going to go ahead and add the hot bouillon, hot tap, right out of the tap. I'm not doing anything fussy here. and I need 1.5 cups of chicken bouillon, which is roughly 1.5 teaspoons of instant if you're using this. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and add, so I get 1.5 cups of this, right? 1.5 cups chicken bouillon, 1.25 cups of hot water. So, I was already washing something in hot already, so it's already hot. We'll go ahead and add this. Of course, it's not hot when I said it was going to be hot. But that's all right. There it is. It's getting hot. Okay. Here's the 1.5 cups. Yupper. Go ahead and add that. Carefully. I mean, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to drown the seasoning out. Although some of the seasonings will fall off into the rice, onion, garlic mixture. That's not a problem. The trick to this old recipe was always the slow cook 350 oven with it tightly covered would keep all the chicken juices in and then hydrate that rice, which is exactly what you want. Okay. Now I'm going to add not as much liquid now, 1.25 cups of the hot water. So get my place measured right here with my thumb. There we go. Sounds good. There we go. So you're like probably thinking, well, that doesn't look like much, right? With the actually, which was 2 3/4 cups of liquid, right? But remember, we have that 1.5 cups of rice in here, and it's going to all soak up, right? Then we're going to go ahead and add, I have some cheap foil here, and I'm going to maybe get my heavy duty industrial foil, which is much thicker. I'm going to get a sheet of that. You don't need it. You can just use your regular cheap foil. I'm going to use my heavy duty foil though instead. I'm going to go ahead and cover this really well. And by really well, I mean go ahead, take your fingers, tuck it in, make it tight, because you want this to steam and you don't want any air to get in. And we're going to bake it for, how long does this go? 30 minutes. Then I'm going to remove the foil, and this is an optional step. Remove the foil, and I'm just going to spritz the outside of the chicken with this, and then put the foil away and bake for an extra 25 minutes. So like an hour and 5 minutes, and it is done. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead, put it in the oven. Ooh, it already smells good in here because the onions and the garlic. There we go. I'm going to go ahead, let that bake. Timer will go off. I'll spritz it and bake it again for a total, like I said, hour and 5 minutes. The thumbnail will be the picture. The recipe will be down below. Yummy, and lots of leftovers, right? That's the thing. If you want a recipe that makes a lot of leftovers, this one is it. And the rice is super good because it's flavored. The chicken bastes the rice as it cooks. You can't go wrong. You don't need rice in a pouch thing from the grocery store that's expensive with all the seasonings, because you already put the seasonings in yourself, right? And the salt is a reasonable amount, so you don't need to worry about that either. And enjoy the smell of your house. I noticed this past couple weeks, lots of people have been watching, but not all of you are subscribers, right? A huge amount of you are not. So if you really could just subscribe to the channel, that would really help out my channel. Or if you give it a thumbs up, a like, that also would help my channel. Let me know in the comments if you remember your mom making this 1960s, 1970s, 1980s retro chicken and rice dish. And did she make it the old school way with the Lipton onion soup in a packet, or did she use the cans? Let me know it in the comments down below. And I hope wherever you're at, you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.